Hey there, we are going to take your practice test for long division. You need to solve each of these problems and then you can check your work with the calculator to make sure your answer is correct. The first problem is 43 divided by 3. We're doing long division, so we're going to say, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? First thing you need to do is say 3 times what gets me close to 4 without going over. 3 times 1 will get me close. You have determined now. 3 times 1 is 3. Subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. Compare. Is 1 less than 3? Yes, it is. And now you can box in your work and bring it over. It's time to repeat. Think to yourself, 3 times what gets me close to 13 without going over. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5, 15. So I'm determining that I need to do 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract 13 minus 12 is 1. Compare, is 1 less than 3? It sure is. Nothing left to box and bring over to, and it's time to write my remainder of 1. You can check your work by saying 43 divided by 3 using the integer button, or you can do 3 times 14 plus 1 would equal 43. There you go. Let's do the next one. Next, we're going to solve 25 divided by 9. We need to, oh, I didn't even check that off. There we go. Always make sure you check off all your boxes as you go. Now we can do 25 divided by 9. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? And we're going to think to ourselves, 9 times what gets me close to 2 without going over? I can't do that, so I'm going to put an X. And now I ask myself, 9 times what gets me close to 25 without going over? 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27. I'm going to do 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract 25 minus 18. 5 minus 8, more on the floor. Go next door and get 10 more. 15 minus 8 is 7. 1 minus 1 is 0. Compare, 7 is less than 9. Nothing to box and bring over 2, and I can write my remainder 7. Check your work with a calculator. Next, we're doing 113 divided by 2. Right away, I know I'm going to have a remainder because I have an odd number in my ones place. Let's see, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? 2 times what gets me close to 1 without going over is not possible, so I'm going to have to put my X and ask myself, 2 times what gets me close to 11 without going over? 2 times 5 is an easy fact. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12, which goes over, so I'm going to do 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Show your work when you multiply, and we'll subtract. 11 minus 10 is 1. 1 is less than 2. Now we can box our work and bring it over. We're going to ask ourselves, do we write our remainder or repeat? We should repeat. 2 times what gets me close to 13 without going over? 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14. I can't go over. Let's do 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Now we can subtract. 13 minus 12 is 1. Compare. Is 1 less than 2? Sure is. And now we can box and bring over, but we're done with that. And now I repeat or remainder. My remainder is 1. Check your work with a calculator. There we go. Next, 848 divided by 4. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? we need to determine 4 times what gets me close to 8 without going over. 4 times 2, I know that basic fact right away. 4 times 2 is 8. Now we can subtract. 8 minus 8 is 0. 0 is less than 4 when we compare. And now we can box and bring over. We should repeat. 4 times what gets me close to 4 without going over. Any number times 1 is that number. So 4 times 1 is 4. We've determined, we've multiplied. Now we can subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. Compare, is 0 less than 4? It sure is. Box and bring over. And we repeat. 4 times what gets me close to 8 without going over. 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract. 8 minus 8 is 0. Compare, is 0 less than 4? It sure is. Box and bring over. We're done with that. And I'll write my remainder. It's 0. Check your work with a calculator. Next, we're going to solve 9,623 divided by 4. Make sure you check that last step off every single time. 9,623 divided by 4, we have to say, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? So we are going to solve 4 times what gets me close to 9 without going over. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to say 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. 1 is less than 4. Box your work and bring it over. Repeat. 4 times what gets me close to 16 without going over. I know that basic fact right away. It's 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And we subtract. It is 0. 0 is less than 4. Then we need to box it and bring it over. It's time to repeat our steps. 4 times what gets me close to 2 without going over. Only 4 times 0 will work because 2 is less than 4. 4 times 0 is 0. We determined, we multiplied, subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2. Now we can compare. Is 2 less than 4? Sure thing. Now we need to box and bring over. Now we're going to repeat. 4 times what gets me close to 23 without going over. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. I can't go over, so I have to use 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. That was my determine and multiply. And now I can subtract. 23 minus 20 is 3. Now I can compare. 3 is less than 4. Box and bring over. We're done with that step, and I should write my remainder. Check your work. Your quotient is 2,405 with a remainder of 3. And our final problem, we're going to solve 3,025 divided by 5. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? 5 times what gets me close to 3 without going over? Can't do it. Put your X, move on. 5 times what gets me close to 30 without going over? Right away, I know that 5 times 6 is 30. So 5 times 6 is 30. Subtract. 30 minus 30 is 0. Now we can compare. 0 less than 5? Yep. Box and bring over. Box, bring over. And repeat. 5 times what gets me close to 2 without going over? 5 times what gets me close to 2 without going over. 5 times 0 gets me close to 2 without going over. And 5 times 0 is 0. Subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2. Compare. Is 2 less than 5? Yes. Box and bring over. Repeat. 5 times what gets me close to 25 without going over. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 minus 25 is 0. Is 0 less than 5? Yes. Boxing and bringing over is done, and my remainder is 0. There we go. And here is your secret word. Your secret word is there you go. Have a great day, guys.